Loyalty is very simple. Loyalty is to respect the person, acknowledge what they did for you, help them in ways one should help his mentors way. But loyalty does not mean surrendering the states and the development. That's not loyalty. So I want us to clarify our concept so that you don't accuse someone of being disloyal because they didn't support you to do crime or they didn't help you to commit crime. That's not disloyalty. The second aspect of loyalty, and I give an example, is that it's about the people's business. So a good man who brings a man to power will step aside. Let me use Wike, for example. We've seen the Senate president bring the man to Amadi. They didn't quite have very closely at some point. They were not that, but they didn't fight openly. There was no outbreak of. You see, loyalty is not a concept that is absolute. In life, things lie side by side. You have to be loyal. For example, even our parents, who we ought to be loyal to, if they had to commit a crime, will you commit a crime? If you do, will the law say loyalty? So we see our brother and his sister who wanted to save a daughter in London, which is a normal fatherly sympathy as a father. But he go foul the law as a consequence. So I think that the loyalty is threefold. One, to people who help you come to power. But the first question is, why did they help you to come to power? They help you because they want a continuity of good service to the people. So the compact should be clear. And that's why I like the point about ideological war. What we are suffering is that the concept of government as personal rule and ownership is now confused with the concept of government as serving the people. So at that level, loyalty is very simple. Loyalty is to respect the person, acknowledge what they did for you, help them in ways one should help his mentors way. But loyalty does not mean surrendering the states and the development. That's not loyalty. So I want us to clarify our concept so that you don't accuse someone of being disloyal because they didn't support you to do crime or they didn't help you to commit crime. That's not disloyalty. The second aspect of loyalty, and I give an example, is that it's about the people's business. So a good man who brings a man to power will step aside. Let me use Wike, for example. We've seen the Senate president bring the man to Amadi. They didn't quite have very closely at some point. They were not that, but they didn't fight openly. There was no outbreak of war. Emmanuel brought, and each were people in government. Emmanuel was secretary to government, he left for the bank, he was secretary to government, he met him. Emmanuel chose one of his commissioners and the thing Emmanuel has done, which is remarkable, learning from experience, either he disappeared, he handed over power, he literally brought the guy. In fact, stories that maybe his wife wasn't too, nobody was too pleased. They had the right kind of people they thought should hand over. But he said, this is the right guy, I think is the best person. And once he did that, he left the guy. He's not seen in Wike. He's not grabbing headline. He's not complaining. And, you know, there's a reward for that good-spiritedness. He saw it on the TV. He was there to support. And look, when he came to support the government, he was at the total role. He waited carefully, humility. The government is the one who says, I dedicate this to me and give to him. So he's not struggling to grab back the power. So it's a model for us to watch. And what government did well, what they did very well. And that government is doing well too. So I think that loyalty is not, shouldn't be seen from the psychological trauma of people's own family. Loyalty is not that if you're not happy there, you're not loyal. That's not the measure. The measure is, have I unduly attacked my predecessor? Have I gone out to use the state to wreck you? If I have not, then we shouldn't say for one loyal. So I don't want to get loyalty as zero sum. Loyalty has limitations and nature. The most important thing I think is that whether you're loyal or disloyal, let's do the work for the people. And when you help people come to power, that's why I talk about positive conspiracy. There must not be elites who will say, who will govern next? And they work hard to bring who they think will govern next. But when they do that, they shouldn't be co-governors. They should simply go back and allow the governor to govern. Leadership is a process in which we can select our leaders. So the incumbent has a duty to also influence the choice. See, the thing is about what is motivating that duty. If we're talking about development as long term, and that's why we talk about the Asian tigers, as there are people who think it was dictatorship that led to development. It's not true. What led to development was a long period of policy stability. Rwanda. So even if you are not a dictatorship, if you need to have a long period to incubate transition. So assuming Rivers now developed a 20-year plan for development, rural, agro, education, everything. It's a common vision. If I'm the governor, and this is why in other countries, people select deputy governor, chief of staff as possible replacements. American president, you appoint a vice president who can become, and oftentimes there are no primary, it's like a putative candidate. If a president is finished, the vice or the deputy is seen as the almost 80% successor. Because there is a training is part of that. So I think that the government should, as a matter of duty, work hard to influence who emerges after him. It's fair. As long as they follow the rules of the game, campaign peacefully, convince stakeholders that this man will continue the work I've done. In fact, as a matter of fact, anybody that a governor has performed, anybody he presents to the people will likely vote for that person. Because they see that as continue. I didn't mention one other example. We're talking about maybe if you look at Cross River State, they had 4 people who had an agreement to rule turn by turn. Those 4 people have all become governor, apart from I and the who came. And the good thing about them is that when they leave, they don't talk to each other. When Donald was the first. Here they supported him, became governor. When he left, here came, became governor. Now, Ayade was the one who broke that line, but they supported him, more or less. They didn't, but he didn't perform. This new one is part of that group. So the lesson is this: that orderly transition. In fact, politics is not a good thing. People think that politics is good all the time. If you have a bad politics of continuous change of leadership, it's not developmental. It's better to have a group of leaders like us now. All of you support the government. You have one mind. Among yourself, you're going to have a panel conversation. Who can best from the zone, another zone, okay? Who can best do this job? And they say it's Ibi that we want to support. We support him. Before you finish it, we have identified a successor. What it does is that it gives you that stability of, now you talk about some government will start the program, but now we'll truncate it. The money is wasted. So I'm in support of a governor working hard to make sure that the person who can control the work emerges as the next governor. But always with the leadership collective. Every society must have leadership collective. It's not a governor's leadership, it's all of us. And that's why it's called elite consensus. We